Well, hello. It's been coming up to like 3 weeks since the last video. There's a lot of good reasons for that. Not least of which is work. I've been working very hard at work, and I have felt too knackered, quite honestly, to be making videos, and also running out of ideas of what to upload. I could put endless Euro truck or American truck videos up, but there's very little call for that, certainly from current subscribers to my channel. As you see, I've got a different installation here now. This is currently my main desktop machine. It's the Dell 4th generation i7. And it used to have Debian 12 with the GNOME shell, but being a Linux user and dabbler of long standing since 2008, I wanted to dabble, I wanted to try something else. So I took out the SSD with that on, so that installation is still active, it's still easily put back inable. Basically, I took the SSD out, put another one in, and installed Linux Mint Debian Edition 6 Fey. Played around with that for a little while, decided that I could probably get better performance if I wasn't running Cinnamon. So I installed XFCE and I boot into XFCE, and I've chosen Thuna as the default file manager. There are other ways of making an XFCE Linux Mint Debian Edition. Slim has gone to great lengths of running scripts and everything to totally hide Cinnamon. Why do you need to do that? You don't need to do that. You just install XFCE, choose it upon login, and you're running Linux Mint Debian Edition with XFCE. And as long as you reset the default apps to the XFCE ones, you might as well forget Cinnamon's even there. You don't need to use shell scripts or anything like that to do it. It's a simple case of installing it from Synaptic and choosing it on login. So that's what you're looking at here. Okay, so as well as just being a catch-up, this is a video to tell you what I've been up to, what I've been doing, and thoughts about what I'm going to be doing with the channel as the weeks and months go on. As you know, there's been all sorts of shenanigans very recently, with YouTube taking a very hard stance against ad blockers, which largely seems to have fallen flat, thankfully. If you're still seeing you can only watch a certain amount of videos before we'll stop you being able to view them if you don't turn off your ad blocker, there is steps you can take to stop them appearing. I'll show you what those are. Let's go to the browser here. Basically what you do, if you're running Firefox or anything else with uBlock Origin, you just click it, go to your settings, go to your filter list, purge all caches, and then hit update now. And it will refresh all the caches, give you the latest versions of filters, and you can continue to watch YouTube without seeing those fucking adverts. Pardon my French. That seems to work really, really well. So away you go. The other option, of course, is there is a thing called TheyTube. You can Google that and it'll take you to the website, and it's a download. There is installables, there's app images and so forth, and you can view YouTube content without any adverts that way as well. I'm not sure if you can do that with SMTube, whether or not you get the adverts still with SMTube, I don't know, but that's another way of viewing the content without getting their adverts. They're going to love me for this. If I was a big YouTuber, I'd get in a hell of a lot of trouble for telling you stuff like that. So okay, there's some other news. It's a toy reveal. I've got a new toy. Let's go again to the file manager, I'll show you the pictures. Okay, my new toy is this. It's a little trig key mini PC. That's a 2p piece. That's a normal business card sized business card. It's a little trig key. Cost me, I think it was £160. It's got 16 gigs of RAM. I think it's some kind of what? Yeah, it's got an Intel Alder Lake N95 processor, 16 gigs of RAM, and a 500 gigabyte M2 NVMe SSD. Fairly new, fairly tiny, and bloody capable, quite honestly. It's really, really good. It's not a gaming machine, though you can play, say, like the old legacy games pretty well, but it's not designed for graphics handling at all, or gaming at all, really. It's got 4 USB 3 ports, an HDMI port, and a headphone socket, and that's pretty much it. There is room to stick another standard SSD in the case at the top. So this is a tiny machine, but I've got to tell you, it runs Windows 11 Pro really, really smoothly, and that's absolutely shocking to me for that kind of money. Oh, which it comes installed with, by the way. So get a load of that. Yeah, if you're interested in trying one of these yourself, the one I've got is the Trig Key G4 Green Series Mini PC, and yeah, it will put you back about £160. It is also 100% Linux friendly. So if I wanted to, which currently I don't, you could quite happily stick a bit of Debian on there or whatever. Plenty of room, plenty of processing power. It will do the job. It will do the job. Quite a surprise. And fairly quiet. Well, very quiet. It's only got a tiny fan. It's literally a laptop fan. It's basically a laptop in a box. So yeah, that's my old toy. My old new toy. I am getting another new toy, but I'm not going to showcase that. For one, it hasn't arrived yet, and for two, you're probably not going to be interested in seeing it, because it is set up by default with Windows 11, and it will probably, because of music production, it will most likely stay Windows 11. I will be running the Acid Studio on there and doing what I like to do, my hobby, make a bit of music. So yeah, that's the reason that the old toy and the new toy will both be staying Windows machines, music production, and on the new toy, video production. So that's not to say that I don't love and prefer Linux. I do love and prefer Linux, and I will still use Linux on machines, my portable machines particularly, just because security, banking, things like that. Smaller target for security intensive tasks. So yeah, I will continue to use Linux, and I will continue to put up videos about Linux onto YouTube. Despite the fact, and this brings me to another point, interest in Linux has declined, as far as I can tell, quite a lot in the last 4 years. If you look at the PageIt rankings on DistroWatch, you'll see they are about a quarter as much as they were, say, 4 years ago. You'd be into the tens of thousands of clicks for the top distros, and now it's 1,500 clicks for the major distributions. Now, why would that be, do you think? Is it because that the line between the oppressiveness of the walled garden the walled garden operating systems like Windows, Mac OS, Android, the distance between their oppressiveness and increasingly the impressiveness of the bigger players in the Linux world, there's not really a lot to choose between them now. This kind of all started with Red Hat and Fedora dictating what level of freedom you had from their grasp, what you could do with their system, what their system insisted upon, but it's spreading as well, and I think a lot of people are going, well, I could install Ubuntu, but then for all intents and purposes I might as well be running Windows, and that's kind of true. So I don't think it's seen as an escape from overhandedness and dictatorial behaviours as it used to be. And not only that, interest in Linux seems to have declined on YouTube. You've got now the showman YouTubers, look at me, look at me, look at me, look at what I've got, look at the money I've spent on this, and I'm an expert, you must use this is the way to do it. You know, I'm looking at you, Chris Titus. Yeah, you've got personalities now, rather than people who are prepared to give an honest, everyday man on the street's opinion or impressions of particular things. And they're just not good viewing anymore. It's not like talking to a good mate, it's like going to a lecture. Do you understand what I mean? So the interest in the smaller Linux YouTubers has dropped right out. Certainly, and I can say this now, all of the Linux YouTubers that I used to follow over the years have stopped producing content. They're just not doing it anymore. They're not doing Linux content anymore, or they're not doing any content anymore, or they've vanished. They're just not here anymore. I've named them. You know, I think did I do a video, Where Are We Now, or something, or Where Are They Now, bemoaning the fact that the old gang's just not there anymore, and what few there are that remain are talking about other things that just aren't of interest. A lot have left because of the way YouTube itself has become. I'm sorely tempted myself. I'm looking for other avenues that I could go down with my stuff, which is just, you know, it's just a bloke talking about what he's doing. That's literally my stuff. It just happens to be that a lot of what I'm doing is Linux related, but it's also related to loads of other stuff. I mean, I don't know. And views have bottomed out on YouTube because I think people are fed up with all the advertising stuff as well. But just persevere, there's ways of getting around it. Anyway, I figured it was about time to do a video and have a chat. And, well, I don't know, basically have a moan. Where are they all? Where have they all gone? There's more to life, after all.